Hello, and everyone back to the Academy Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And I am so excited about today's video. Thank you very much, by the way, for tuning in. And I hope you've been learning something new in every video. But nonetheless, today is a beautiful day to be in crypto. The star of the show is clearly Ethereum after having a very possibly one of its worst performing Q1s in any bull run. Finally, we are seeing the rate of growth for Ethereum is exceeding Bitcoin. We're going to show you guys more stats in a second and kind of my price predictions for short term for Ethereum. But of course, this reflects really well because if you remember the flow chart, I'm going to show you guys as well in a second, where at the beginning of a kind of a bull run, right, which usually basically is kicked off by the Bitcoin halving. That's by coincidence, not because it's actually the cause, it's actually the effect. But the kickoff happens, and usually Bitcoin is the spotlight within that first year. I've already mentioned this in the previous video, but now we are way past that 365 days. Okay, the previous halving event was actually on April of 2024, right? We're now in June, guys. Okay, this is where the altcoins start to rally up, and a great indicator, kind of a precursor, is by looking at Ethereum, is by looking at the ratios. Okay, it's very, very important. ETH BTC ratio, very simple. The ratio of the Bitcoin dominance versus everything else, the ratio of altcoins versus everything else. We're going to show you guys everything in a second. And yeah, I'm so excited. We're going to see even PulseChain, of course, because it counts as a large cap. And if you think about it as a flow chart, it's a very simple flow chart. Influx of money comes from the fiat world, right? Supported by ETFs, helping institutional investors have a piece of the pie effectively. And hopefully soon we're going to see staked Ethereum ETFs. Also mentioned in the other video that JP Morgan is starting to accept Bitcoin as a collateral type. This is very, very bullish. But as you guys can see in front of you, we got the core ecosystem, and generally in all of PulseChain, I'm sorting it by volume. I can even sort it by liquidity if you guys want. It is almost all up by double digits. Very, very beautiful. I like to use also this website here, pulsecharts.com. I really like the fonts, actually. Kind of nostalgic, reminds me of Minecraft days. But yeah, you can see here EHEX and PHEX. I believe in both, by the way. I don't like to choose one over the other. I understand EHEX, okay, it's minus 99. It doesn't look good. But of course, I believe history repeats itself, and it's the legacy hex. At the same time, PHEX is so bullish, right? Because it got that whole leverage with the sacrifice funds. But what if the sacrifice funds are also going to be used on EHEX? You just never know. Is EHEX dead? We don't know. Okay, the good thing about PHEX is it's native to PulseChain. The good thing about PHEX is that it's a new chart on a cycle 1 blockchain. Both have separate reasons why I'm holding them. Because technically, EHEX is cheaper than PHEX. You see what I'm saying? And also, it has way lower liquidity, so it's easier to pump. So again, I'm holding both for separate reasons. I can make a whole video on this, and I will, because I do realize right now we're going to start ramping up in terms of new users coming in. I've already been kind of realizing that in the Telegram group chat. This is your final chances, guys, because when it comes primetime altcoin season, when there's a lot of new people, I just can't handle every single one joining that Telegram. I'm basically one and maybe a couple others are the mods, so I mainly have to delete all the spams and literally kick people off, because guys, honestly, our Telegram group chat, the farmers community, is possibly one of the only Telegram group chats that absolutely doesn't allow any spam, any scam. Okay, so keep that in mind. And by the way, do be careful. Telegram can be a dark place. There's a lot of imposters. I will never message you first. My only account and username is in the description. Khaled on Crypto. That is it. I don't care if you see someone messaging you that has real Khaled on Crypto. That is not me. I'll never message you first. I'll never give you an early opportunity. I'll never send you a link to a trading. You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk to you about anything aside from what I talk about in my videos. And most important thing, I will never message you first. Please be careful. I'll never ask you for money. So yeah, we've had cases of imposters, and that's a bad side about Telegram, unfortunately. So keep all your conversations in the group chats. This is why I made one below the farmers community. Join there, be part of the conversation. If you're left alone with doubts, that's a great place to be. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly as well show you guys kind of the top gainers of the day. PHEX, right, with 11.33%. PulseX is 11.57%. INC almost going back to the $2 range. And then we have here a new PRC20 that's kind of been popping off, liquid staked Ethereum. I'm holding the wrapped liquid stake Ethereum because I believe that one is not mintable. This one can have some uncertainties that I've heard, but I'll probably have to dig in a little bit more into it before I make a separate video on that. And a big shout out to, of course, this is fed from the Atropa ecosystem. Big shout out to PTGC, undoubtedly the #1 meme coin on PulseChain. And then Teddy Bear, arguably the #1 meme coin on PulseChain, right? And then you have here Most, a big shout out to Most and the holders behind it. This is one of the pump tire tokens, which is basically like pump fund, but for PulseChain that Richard Hart launched. So if you see value in that, there you go. Hey, whatever you believe in, as long as you do have a long-term mindset, be an investor, not a trader. Okay, there's a lot of reasons why you want to do that. You can either win first but small, or win last but big. Okay, if you guys remember like 3 videos ago where I showed you guys how Shiba Inu, where it had, you know, the initial 300x and it did a minus 99% correction. And guess what it did after that? Like a 3000x. So the biggest winner was what? The person who either forgot about the stuff that he's holding or had incredible conviction. Are you convicted enough about PulseChain? Like, do you have enough conviction? That is the question at the end of the day. This is a believers only bull run, so keep that in mind. Okay, don't have a retail mindset. Don't be part of the herd kind of behavior where you fall into FOMO. Oh, I'm not gonna buy until I see a green, a green candle first. No, that's not how you play it. Go after the red candles. Go after the things that not a lot of people talk about yet. Front run the crowd. PulseChain is still early. Okay, we're not on centralized exchanges. Barriers for entry is still high. I'm going to look more into that in a second. So here's another tweet kind of from CZ kind of to kick off of this video. I'm so excited. Big shout out to CZ, by the way. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to hold that counts. Jeez, big shout out to CZ. And then here's another. This is the flowchart that I was talking about. I just made this, by the way. Well, I edited the picture to kind of make it more pulse chainy. So you can see here the capital flow goes from Bitcoin, right, which is kind of becoming this store of value, really. The yearly average returns is going to slowly start to kind of stagnate. If you guys Google the S curve of adoption, you'll see that usually once it reaches, maximum, I don't know, mainstream coverage, it's going to start to kind of plateau in terms of gains, but it's still pretty well. I think in the past 10 years, it's been averaging a 40% return. We've already covered as well how Bitcoin literally has 3 red yearly candles. Okay, that is it. Since when it launched in 2009, 3 only, guys. Okay, and people still compare Bitcoin to gold, the pet rock. Okay. Anyways, that's a whole nother video talking about gold and why it's actually when people look at it and it's yearly returns, it's okay-ish, right? In terms of, okay, you're making yield higher than the inflation rate. But once you look at gold versus the adjusted inflation chart, you'll see that it's barely breaking even since like the 1970, guys. I'll make a whole video on it. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so you would actually be losing money. By average, if you've been holding gold in the last 10 years, you're not outpacing the rate of inflation. I believe it's the last 10 years, or maybe even a slightly bigger range. But it is very interesting stuff. And then, basically, this is what I said. Early movers advantage. Join before the masses. While the barrier for entry is high, as no centralized exchange is listing us yet, even though PulseChain has been consistently in the top 5 DEX screener rankings. Follow the information, not the crowd. Very, very cool stuff. And here's another chart that I made kind of in my spare time this Sunday. Pretty chill. And I just basically made this chart which shows the crypto risk curve. Okay, and I'm just kind of keeping the gold slightly above inflation because it depends, right? The time frame. If you look at the time frame way beyond, you'd be like, okay, yeah, you would have lost money. But if you held it, for example, in a different time frame, that you can skew around the data. But the most important thing is just to understand that holding cash, guys. Not a lot of people know this. If you just hold cash in your savings account, year over year, you're losing buying power. It's diminishing buying power. Even though, yes, that $1,000, that 10,000, whatever, 100,000, is the unit number staying the same. It's the purchasing power, right? Look at the Dixie index. Stuff like this helps. You need to understand that the money printer, how it works, guys. We will always be printing money. Okay? More circulation in the total supply dilutes the buying power. Okay? People talk about the great reset. Bitcoin can be the last solution for the debt that America has, 36 trillion. And I've already covered this. Guys, the GDP for America is literally not enough to pay back the yearly debt that they incur. So year over year, they incur more debt than GDP that they're making. It's actually bad. It's really bad. And I genuinely do believe that Bitcoin is their only chance. And this is why, yes, we're not going to do CBDCs, right, as Donald Trump says, but the next best thing as well. Looking at stuff like the Genius Stablecoins Act effectively. So keep that in mind. It's very, very interesting times. And yeah, you know what I mean? We're talking about 3 trillion. Are we even at 3 trillion? Yeah, like a 3.4 trillion market cap. That's going to solve America's biggest issue. Crazy, crazy. And like the dollar total supply for the dollar, I think is around 80, isn't it 60 to 80 trillion? I'm not 100% sure. Like around the world, including other countries' dollar reserves. It is very, very cool stuff. Now, while we're at it, looking at this chart, this is Ethereum doing really well. Up, how many percent? Let me double check. Up, wait, what? No. Let's see here. Up 5.94% versus Bitcoin, that's barely up a percentage. Crazy. Even though, by the way, Bitcoin, big shout out to it, 110. I've already mentioned in the previous video that looking at the global the futures, what was it called, the Bitcoin liquidations kind of heat map. There's a price magnet around that 117,000 because it would cause 12 or is it 15? Yeah, 15.35 billion worth of short liquidation events if Bitcoin reaches 117,000. So naturally it creates that price magnet. But speaking about price magnets, we're going to look at this Ethereum chart. Now, I usually don't like to do short price predictions, and that's really not my style. I don't really leverage trade or even like day/swing trade, but it's kind of very interesting to see how it plays off. And I've said this before. Remember, looking at the this is the volume profile. I'm just setting it so it's the visible volume profile, and it's, I guess, I don't know, around 365 days of Ethereum's price chart movement. And just using the Fibonacci retracement, you can see we've been bouncing off that 0.618. And if you guys remembered, I think it was last video, I talked about the golden ratio. And that's exactly where it's been preserving its support. It's critical to preserve that support between the 0.5 and the 0.6. Even though, yes, it's taken a long ass time to reach back to it. But it's kind of clear because when we also use another factor, which is, the volume profile, you can see that during this time when we were down here, this was at a low volume zone. The next high volume zone was around this area that we are here. You can see the point of control, right? That means it was a clear indication that Ethereum was heavily undervalued, okay? And then during low volume zones, usually the price moves very rapidly. Like it just wants to get out of that zone. This is why I told people as well, if we broke out of this resistance, which is the 0.5 level, we might just see Ethereum price actually shoot up even quicker to the next high volume zone and hopefully becoming the point of control, which is around 3,000 plus, 3,300 plus, which is really, really, really good. So this is why I put the price magnet there. That's basically my understanding. Like I'm gonna tell you guys, it's nothing really like special, special tools. I don't need to do, I don't know, script and stuff. I'm just looking at it, drawing shapes as long as it it makes sense, right? That's the thing with technical analysis. People think the more complex, the more lines I draw, the more I'm uncovering hidden secrets. No, it's actually the simpler the shapes that you draw, Okay, don't try to fit in the head and shoulders and, try to make yourself believe, oh, that has to be a head that looks like kind of a head, even though it's like a crooked, I don't know, W or something like that. So keep that in mind as well. Sometimes less is more with technical analysis, at least with me. I don't like to overdo it. But moving on to the other side of macroeconomics, and I just want to show you guys here. You can see ETH BTC is up 4.9%. Bitcoin dominance is down 0.87%. Guys, it's really happening. Altcoin season is soon. And PulseChain is going to be in the forefront. Okay? I'm not even like trying to hype you guys up based on like nothing. PulseChain is going through its first bull run. So going back to that S curve of adoption, we are literally at the beginning, guys. And we've been at the beginning for 2 years. PulseChain is now 2 years old as of May of this year. Okay, we've gone through the innovation kind of what is it called, disruption chart that I also talked about a few videos ago, where it usually actually dips down before it does the rapid increase in network value, right? And of course, what is a value is derived from of a network is the user count. Very simple. Don't care about the liquidity. Well, in a certain way we do, but of course right now we're at the phase where liquidity is very low, and I think Richard Hart is very smart and he did it on purpose, where I was talking about this, where I said, hey, he can reduce the inflation of INC. Okay, it has a master chief contract, so someone can literally control it. And I will do a deep dive in INC in another video, the liquid gold of the digital liquid gold of PulseChain. And obviously the fact that he lowered the INC inflation discouraged people from providing liquidity. And he wanted this to happen so that now PulseChain is lighter. It's a weight effect, liquidity. It's a double-edged sword, don't get me wrong. And I think he's going to reinstantiate the INC inflation and more PulseX farms when we're at higher levels, higher price levels. And now he wants to sustain them. He's going to incentivize people. Now imagine, right? I'm going to quickly jump to a topic because, one of the USPs of PulseChain, at the end of the day, we're not here just going to, if I went ahead and spoke to someone and be like, okay, sell me PulseChain. I'm not going to tell them, oh yeah, PulseChain, oh, it's quicker than Ethereum by 17%. And, we have pump tires. No offense to pump tires, but we have pump tires and, we're cheaper than Ethereum. No, a whale doesn't care about whether we're cheaper, 17% quicker. No. You just have to tell them we're doing stuff that's never done before. We're front running the DeFi season that hasn't happened yet. The founder was wanted, bro. The founder fought for the rest of crypto. And he beat the SEC. Only 5% of cases end up beating the SEC, not getting dismissed by them, beating them. And guess what? The founder is going to go after the SEC. The founder, or even PulseChain, is the number 2 largest Ethereum holder. Guys, possibly a bigger holder than Vitalik himself. The founder started a self-made billionaire already. He's not doing this for money. He's doing this for legacy. He wants to mint 1 million millionaires. Are you going to be one of them? All you got to do is believe. He's not doing this for money. He already did 2 free self-help books. He talks about how he cares about Ethereum, the marketing. This is why he's saying like Bitcoin is so great, because of the marketing. You say Bitcoin, everyone knows. Oh yeah, I know what it is. You know what I mean? Think of your mind as a real estate. Everyone has a space. They're like, oh yeah, I know what Bitcoin is. You know what I mean? Like, that's the mind share, effectively. That's the mind share, like real estate. So yeah, PulseChain, going back to it, is doing stuff that's never been done before. Don't get me wrong, that comes with risk. But this is how we disrupt. Have you ever heard a guy who says, I've made 100x, I've made a 400x, I made 1,000x from a stablecoin? Have you ever heard a guy who says, I was able to turn back time and buy Bitcoin back at 2017 levels, price levels? No. Until now. People tell you it's not possible. until PulseChain launched. Yeah, it wasn't. I agree with you. It's not possible. But PulseChain launched. You know, USP, unique selling points. I don't care about the other stuff. You know, gotta tell them, guys. Like, I'm so excited. The PulseX farms, a DEX test native to PulseChain, right? Ethereum. Like, we're not here just trying to be another, you know, BNB. Shout out to BNB, by the way, and whatever, another layer one. No. We're our first of its own kind, full system state copy of Ethereum. End up being the world's largest crypto airdrop. And then kind of creating this PRC20 gold mine, digital gold rush, native PulseX DEX with yield. Now imagine with PWBTC, you're able to make yield without requiring physical hardware. That you're paying majority of your profits to an electricity company. That's, you know, the byproduct is heat, and you have to keep it running 24/7. No. So matter of fact, you might even argue that this PWC that we have is more efficient than Bitcoin, and you can make yield off of it in the PulseX farms. They used to be live, by the way. They're not live now, but they used to be PWC, EWBTC. Guys, come on. PulseChain will be a black hole of liquidity. We're gonna suck liquidity from all the other layer ones. Forget about the layer twos. Any layer twos already, they don't have longevity. Okay, or at least Vitalik should get the message. Richard already kind of warned him. He told him like, "Yo, these are vultures. This is not how you deload Ethereum. Don't do that." Right? This is actually one of the main reasons that at the beginning, Richard Hart wanted to create PulseChain. He literally says, so we can make the gas fees cheaper on Ethereum. Like, this guy cares about Ethereum, guys. Come on, we're not competing. We're not a hedge against Ethereum, guys. No, don't get that mistaken. We are a leverage of Ethereum. We need Ethereum to win. And likewise, we need Bitcoin to win. That's at least my belief. The unwritten rules of crypto is that I want to see Bitcoin as number one. I want to see Ethereum as number two. And honestly, 3, 4, 5, I'm happy with PulseChain in being in any of them. I gotta, respect laws of power. Number one, never. I believe it's number one at least. Never outshine your master. Like, at the end of the day, BNB is great, and we're gonna talk about BNB in a second. BNB, Ethereum, Base is doing okay, and of course, Solana is kind of the leading blockchain right now with the highest number of volume for a lot of reasons, right? They had early movers advantage with pump.fun. There's also recent updates on it, we shall see, but unfortunately, due to the number of increasing value extraction that's happening, people realized like, oh, hold on, maybe this celebrity who's launching his 5th token, maybe he doesn't really care about me. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel bad, by the way. I really do feel bad because those people, their first experience in crypto is getting scammed. It really annoys me, man. It really does. And like, it's so hard to reach out to people and be like, hold on, whoa. Don't just jump into it. You need to understand this is celebrity meme coin. I understand meme coin is kind of the main meta, right? Something that's funny, relatable, easy to understand, but you're buying into this person who's gonna rug, who's not telling you about the vested, the fact that there's VCs in this, or the fact that he's gonna snipe his own launch. They're not gonna tell you that. Oh, actually, the liquidity has like a 10% tax. They're not gonna tell you that. So yeah, this is why I just in general I don't trade that much on Solana, but I hold. I have a few things that I'm holding. I can make another video on this. And yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. Okay, and don't get me wrong, there's always going to be scams everywhere. But anyways, we're going to get back on the program what I was planning to talk about. This is the others total crypto market, which is effectively another way of saying altcoins, which is the tokens outside of the top 10 coin market cap lists, excluding stablecoins. Very simple. Okay, so the coin market cap, everything outside of top 10, that's the total others crypto market. or sorry, the others total crypto market. And yeah, you can see right now it is up 3.33%, whilst Bitcoin dominance is losing dominance, 64%. HBTC is going up. Things are looking really good, guys. Things are looking really, really good. So I'm excited for the future. And as you guys can see, by the way, this is me like kind of doing pattern recognition. You can see in the previous bull runs, we've had 2 peaks. Okay, and usually they start 365 days after the Bitcoin halving. This is the vertical lines. Every vertical line is the last 3 Bitcoin halvings. And yeah, you can see at least this is what I deducted from the pattern recognition from previous data, because that's the next best thing, right, to having a crystal ball, I guess, is each peak kind of lasts about 50 days. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we are in that 365 day post 365 day period. I understand that this this bear market has been the longest bear market, so therefore, the fact that we're saying, okay, within after 350 days or 365 days, we're going to see the first peak. That's my original thinking, by the way. I was thinking that around end of 2024, really. And it wasn't the case due to probably geopolitics and a bunch of other things, and that's fine. We were impeded, but we will not be stifled. It's just impedance. That's fine. And yeah, like we understand the whole cyclical nature. If we stay at the bottom, guess what's happening? It's the kind of the slingshot effect. The lower we go, the higher we'll reach. The same thing with, for example, an analogy of a rocket ship. A rocket ship takes off from the ground. Simple. And remember the fact that it's a cyclical nature. Keep an eye on stuff like the macroeconomics. Quantitative tightening is clearly stopping, right? Hopefully, I think we have an FOMC meeting soon. I'm very interested to see. Are they going to lower the interest rates? We shall see. And of course, that does a whole snowball effect, lowering the interest rates. Now you got households. Now you got companies. Now you got, I don't know, institutions, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They're going to take on more risk. They're going to borrow more money. They're going to consume more. Just in general, it really does stimulate the market, which is really, really good. And just looking at other things like the global liquidity index, understanding the business cycle, looking at for example, purchasing managers index, looking at the debt cycle, a bunch of other things like M2, money supply, a lot of other metrics to keep an eye on. So anyways, this is a really great one. And by the way, just a quick lesson on the diminishing returns concept. Okay, so in that first peak, this is the 2017 bull market, which of course the fact that it was basically the second it was the second bull market where there's less coins. So of course, if there's less coins, there's a small market cap, things easily go up. Now the fact that we have like thousands, guys, hundreds of thousands of tokens to choose from, unfortunately, we can expect diminishing returns because of dilution effects, right? The capital is now kind of dispersed. So yeah, in that bull run, we've seen a 360x from all-time low to all-time high. And then in the previous bull run, where we had, for example, the birth of the whole meme coin thing with Dogecoin leading it, and then you have Shiba Inu, etc. You have it go from all-time low to all-time high, 72x. Now, just using that, again, just using pattern recognition, I'm going to quickly grab a calculator. I'll show you guys exactly what I did. Okay, what I did was 72x divided by 360x. What's the difference? And that gives you a multiplier, basically the percentage, 20%. So now just me being like, okay, what should I expect in this bull run? I'm going to do 20% times that number, 72. And that gives me around a 14x. So this is why I'm like, okay, which I'll measure it from the, again, all-time low from the bear market where we were. So I guess, just after, end of 2022, effectively, we take that, use the scale tool, and then literally draw a 14x, which is around, I guess, right here. It does put us at 1.15 trillion for just the others total crypto market cap or others crypto market cap. And that's kind of roughly where I would say that's kind of like a top signal for me Remember, there can be other external market conditions that can make it go slightly below that 14x or maybe even slightly above. So don't be too fixated. Always have other metrics that you're keeping an eye on and have different weighting for them. Okay. So for example, looking at the crypto top finder, I mentioned that like 5 videos back. That one is a gem. It's also known as the pi cycle, if I remember. So yeah, speaking about PwC, I just made this tweet today or just before I made this video. I said here, Richard Hart's Bitcoin is primed for the altcoin season wave. Leverage Ethereum success with a more efficient Bitcoin that has a fixed supply of 154,000. Okay, I'm not supposed to put a dollar there, but yes, 154,000 total supply, not 21 million compared to real Bitcoin. And yeah, today's price is around $428. Bitcoin is up 12.22%. It's minus 84 from all-time high with a 255x opportunity to wrapped Bitcoin parity or just in general to Bitcoin parity, which is currently at $110,000, which is crazy, guys. Imagine $428 to 100,000. Again, do remember this is not financial advice. I'm not saying that there's any guarantees in any of the tokens that I'm talking about. This is kind of part of the whole crypto game, guys. Okay, only invest with risk capital. Please understand this, and then just learn more about what you want to invest in. That's what I really advocate for. Really believe in it. Okay, don't fall for the FOMO. Hopefully, I'm not trying to FOMO you into it. I really want you guys to have the similar understanding of Bitcoin to what I have. So keep watching my videos. I even created an article about PwC that will get you from zero to hero, knowing everything about PwC. Read it, comment in the description below. That's actually my first ever Pulsechain article. Hopefully for more articles to come soon. I need to just allocate more time to it. I want to make around 1 or 2 articles per week. I have like an idea to do a top 10 Richard Hart quotes article as well. I think you guys will really love that. So yeah, moving into other stuff. I even made a tweet here from PDAI. This was yesterday. Okay, reminder to the Pulsechain believers. You can either choose to win first but small or delay gratification and win big. PDAI is a speculative future stablecoin that no one controls. No oracles, which is single point of failures, no admin keys, no blacklist CBDC freeze functions. Guys, that's the most important thing actually. Anyone can use PDAI, okay? And they don't have to stay awake at night and be like, oh God, please don't get my wallet frozen, which we've seen plenty of cases before. And do you also know what PDAI doesn't do? Is this. Not anymore. It's fixed, as Richard Hart said. Look at this. 1 billion USDT tokens minted at Tether Treasury. Just like that. Guys, I'm telling you, this is very simple to real life. They're going to move toward the Great Reset is effectively a stablecoin dollar, which, by the way, they're already a USD currency dollar. All the stablecoins that we have, it's just going to be on blockchain. Guys, they have the functions. They can just click mint out of thin air. Like, you know what I mean? So, do you remember? This is what PDAI solves at the end of the day. This is why Richard Hart really was fond of DAI, which, even that, unfortunately, they're decommissioning on Ethereum. They're trying to get people to move towards they rebranded, first of all, from MakerDAO to Sky. Number 2, they're focusing on USDS. It's just a weird name to pronounce it, USDS, which does have a freeze function. Okay, the good thing about DAI is like a decentralized autonomous organization. For a change to happen, you need like 8 minimum. I believe it's 8, or a certain amount of votes from pre-approved list of people, right, to change something in the contract. Not just willy-nilly, some guy, central point of authority. No. Yeah, PDAI fixes a lot of things. I'm very interested to see what future does it have in terms of a MakerDAO replacement that Richard Hart spoke about even before Pulsechain launched. There's a clip as well where Richard Hart said, "Oh yeah," or someone asked Richard Hart, "Oh, are you going to launch a stablecoin?" I think I played this clip in the previous video, and he basically said, "One step at a time." I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. In other news, big shout out to crypto. Currently here it says the global liquidity index is still in an uptrend. Bitcoin is consolidating, which, by the way, in our case, that is really good for altcoins, because I'll take you to another chart here. This is the altcoin season cycle, and you can see here you got the Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin price, and then altcoins, what it results in, because you can see the addition, right? Something plus something is equal to what state for the altcoins. And for example, let's say if Bitcoin price is going sideways, which there's 3 cases here, but if Bitcoin dominance is going up, clearly that means that Bitcoin is the spotlight. Altcoins don't expect too much. Matter of fact, expect them to go down. And that's what we've seen the past, again, year and a half, aside from the outliers, which was the 2 mini altcoin seasons at the beginning of 2024, at the end of 2024. Usually summer is notorious for being a consolidating or even a negative correcting phase. Are we going to see the same thing happen this year? I really don't think so. Just because the fact that May, people already usually say sell in May and walk away. No, we've had the reversal at May. Very, very exciting stuff. But yeah, look at this. If Bitcoin price is going sideways, but the Bitcoin dominance is going down, which is what we are having today, same thing with Ethereum. If Ethereum, you can imagine if you had another row that says, and if Ethereum BTC ratio or if Ethereum price is going up, look at this. Bitcoin dominance down, price sideways equals up on altcoins. Now, the ultimate pump for altcoins would be if the Bitcoin dominance is going down and the Bitcoin price is going up. So that's kind of the main point here. We're not against Bitcoin, guys. Remember, we need Bitcoin to win. Hopefully, we're going to see it reach 200K. That's kind of my aspirational reach. 220, if I wanted to be exact with my Fibonacci extension. Anywhere between 160 to 220 is my range. I know it's a very wide range. Very, very wide range. I understand. But that's just how it is. Like, we have to have a probabilistic approach to crypto, guys. We can never have certain, there's no such thing as certainty. Okay. Bitcoin actually had 2 inflation bugs. It had its website hacked, and that's Bitcoin, the #1 chain. Don't speak to me about certainties. Have to always be ready. And just in general, by the way, with the whole Bitcoin website getting hacked, just on that note, have a zero trust approach. Okay, so for example, on Telegram, if someone messages you, don't trust them by default. Keep that in mind. And same thing with, for example, if you're scrolling through, I don't know, PulseChain and you're seeing this token, oh, I've never heard this token before. It looks really cool, like it's pumping, yada, yada, yada. Be careful. Look into it. I can make a separate video that, kind of shows the steps, like, reading the contract. Why is it significant to check the significance of checking if the contract is verified? And if it is verified, kind of how to read through the code, see if it's mintable, see if it's renounced, etc. Which, by the way, I do cover all of this and way more in a 6-part series in an hour and a half worth of videos in my course. Link in the description. You can use code NEW to get you a 50% discount. Or if you are a YouTube member, you can get this code for free. Just reach out to me. I'll give you the code for that. And you don't even need to hear that from me. You can read the comments. Thank you very, very much to the people who obviously got them. The security course is for new and advanced crypto people. Thanks, Khaled, for your time. Because do remember, guys, complacency is a big risk. Don't think about, okay, all I need to know about in crypto is how to buy a token and how to unlock my wallet. No, it gets more than that. Do you even know all the different types of attack vectors of being on a hot wallet and the attack vectors of being on a cold wallet? The single point of failure. Okay, how can you back up a cold wallet? Is it even safe to do so, etc. And just on that note, a big shout out to the YouTube members, to you guys. And just in general, every single one else who's choosing to support me. You can support me by just watching my whole video, commenting down below, sharing with your other crypto bros, right? Getting them on PulseChain in general with the latest and greatest of news. Come on now, right? This is why you subscribe here for at the end of the day, for the latest and greatest. What do you know that other people don't know? The information asymmetry. And of course, thank you very much to the YouTube members and to the highlighted comments here from Burn Notice. It says Khaled is dropping some of the best crypto content in the industry. Don't fade. Well, that's very nice of you actually to say that. It's an honor, honestly, to be mentioned. By the way, in like other big names like Somi and Crypto Coffee. When I was new to PulseChain, I was watching them. Like I was like, because I sacrificed in PulseX, but I kind of took a hiatus from crypto, guys. And I actually didn't even think I'm gonna come back. Like I had my Bitcoin, I was actually kind of chilling, and crypto didn't really seem innovative anymore because I've seen it. I've seen in the previous bull run I was there, and I've seen like the high yield dApps and how so risky they are. The fake nodes who you make yield this and that. The DeFi season DeFi was really huge in the previous bull run as well with the NFT bubble and the metaverse, this and that. It's like, bro, and it's like, okay, it didn't even seem that exciting to me. But I swear to God, guys, the only reason I got back here was because of PulseChain. I swear to God. Like, and it feels like it was like a calling, like it was God, like telling me, hold on, Kaz, this can be your purpose. Because I enjoyed making YouTube, by the way. I used to make gaming videos on another channel. I can possibly upload a video on that on Twitter, playing Call of Duty or CS:GO and stuff, even Minecraft. Imagine. So yeah, this is it. Like I really enjoy sharing the knowledge because I believe in what shared knowledge is equal to knowledge squared. Don't gatekeep anything. Right? At least in my eyes, there's enough money in this world where I can keep sharing the knowledge. We can all still win and like make money in an honest way. Okay? Like for example, when I tell people I don't need to FUD other projects. Why do I need to FUD other projects? If I don't like a project, I'm just not going to talk about it. Genuinely. At the end of the day, like, because I'm scared of this one saying, hate on success, and success shall hate on you. Please be careful. If you are spending time on Twitter, don't get me wrong, I used to do this like 5 years, 6 years ago. Spending time on Twitter just arguments, instigating arguments. That's my entertainment somehow. You know what I mean? Not making better use of my time. When I should have been at the gym, for example, spending more time at the gym. And yeah, so if you're using your time on Twitter to literally comment on other people's posts and be like, oh yeah, you're stupid for holding this, or you're using bad words, etc., like, bro, be careful. Be careful, bro. Use that energy to, for example, work for your own bags. Make a tweet about what you believe in. Then the guys, we're in PulseChain, right? Freedom of movement. You can be here and there. You don't need to pick a side. Tribalism. Oh, you don't accept. Oh, you're not a real hexakin. Don't talk about hex. No, we accept everyone. What's up? Come on, guys. Freedom of speech. I can believe in PDAI and in hex. At some point, they were actually one-to-one. People saying, oh, this vs that. No, why? Why this vs that? They're on a separate lane with different paces. They can both win. It doesn't have to be at the cost of one another. Keep that in mind. And a big shout to another comment here from WDHD, 2 terabytes. Here it says, most of the anti-PDAI crowd don't realize just how much money it has brought to the Pulsechain ecosystem. That's very true. In terms of like bringing on, people were bridging literally just to buy PDAI, by the way. Like there were people messaging me. I got on Zoom calls helping people. Like, don't tell me about anything else. I just want PDAI. I saw you talk about it. Just tell me how I can buy it and put it in this, for example, in this, Trezor, this Tangent and stuff. And it's like, no, hold on, let me tell you, first of all, like the core ecosystem, what Richard Hart stands for, watch his live streams, like really, and they're like, yeah, but it's sick. Like PDAI was the reason where people like put their front door. I'm telling you, that's the USP. Remember, right? It really does matter having a USP. And then they end up staying. They'll end up learning more once they realize this whole foundation that we built, right? This country, this city, and the highways are basically all the bridges from one chain to another to PulseChain. We have so many. PulseChain.com. Go check it out. And here, the PDAI/peak copies narrative has been the main characters for PulseChain. I like the analogy here, main characters, yeah. PWC is a close second. I love PWC. When PulseChain pumps, the highest gains will probably be those two. So again, PDAI/PWC, I agree. Sit back and watch. Keep up the great work. Cheers. And here's a reply from Urabe, I believe. It says, you are right, but to pump, need liquidity entering PulseChain, and this will take a while to happen. Probably on the next cycle, let's be patient, it will happen. So number one, it's good that you have a long-term vision okay? But really don't underestimate the first cycle, okay? Remember, PulseChain's first cycle is now. Not necessarily saying that we will see less gains in the second cycle, could be the absolute opposite. But do remember, in the next cycle, there's going to be other chains that's going to have their third cycle curse, which Ethereum is going through it right now. Technically, it's taken a while for Ethereum to recover to where it is. It took us a whole Q1, guys, almost a whole Q2 as well. You know what I mean? Like, we went so low back to 2019 bear market, 2019 pre-bull run support levels. If I remember, it was it 200 weekly moving average supports? Like, that was its lifeline, guys. Ethereum. And now we're coming back from the dead. Clear reversal with the Pectra upgrade. Good stuff. I believe they still need to iron out a few things here and there. I'm telling you guys, yeah, like, don't underestimate how quick crypto can move. Just as long as you're here already, you should be fine. But if you're waiting, oh, I'm just gonna wait until I see, quick 2x first, and I should catch it before the 100x happens. Don't underestimate, because if you're late by a 2x, and again, I'm not trying to instill FOMO here. Please understand this. Take your time and learn. I'm just saying, if you're late to 100x by a 2x, that's a 50x, which is still a lot. Like, 50x is still a lot, but that's a 50x. It slices it in half. Anyways, likewise, if you're late by 3x, that's a 33x left, right, to a realized 100x from the all-time low. Anyways, and this guy here, Bow Tie Hexy, says, when the bull run kicks in, so will liquidity into Pulse. I could see this happening. The cycle, absolutely. That's exactly what you described is the positive feedback loop, right? We could initiate the positive feedback loop either from a centralized exchange listing, either from Richard Hart doing buybacks, and that kicks the loop, which gets prices higher, gets volume higher, and now more eyes come in. Literally, guys, herd behavior. 95% of people look at, okay, what's the number one, what's popping off in terms of volume. You can see PulseChain, they're like, okay, I want to get into that. Likewise, that's why volume is very, very synonymous, I believe this is the right word to use, with price charts or green candles in general. Like, you can't have one over the other. You need both. That really does kick off the positive feedback loop. Anyways, big shout out to you guys. Thank you for all the comments. And finally, guys, Axis Alive, one of the smartest technical analysts I have seen in the crypto scene. Guys, I am so glad that he's on PulseChain. Yet another reason why I love being in PulseChain is the smart people that we have. Inspirational, motivational. I love the guy. I love the work that he does. Very high quality, by the way. He says less words, but they mean more. You know what I mean? I'm just so glad I'm in PulseChain, honestly. Here it says Richard Hart's PulseChain is 752 days old. Justin Sun's Tron chain fell for 798 days before bottoming in March of 2020, and I didn't even know this. I actually don't know much about Tron, so this is a very interesting fact. Since then, the TRX, the coin basically, the native coin, is up 36x over 1,911 days. Both have massive Ethereum treasuries and aligned interests. Most of you won't make it. God bless. Geez, giving us the harsh truth. Unfortunately, guys, one of the biggest mistakes, and don't get me wrong, any profit is good profit. You have to come up with your own strategy. I'm just saying this is not financial advice. Is that a lot of people, they exit out a successful trade too soon. And I understand, it's very important to look after your initial, as long as you get back your initial sooner or whatever, for example, if it does a 5x, you sell the 1x and now you're just playing with house money. You have what they call the moon bag. You should be fine. But here what he's saying is that most people, for example, they're not patient enough for that 100x. Most people actually sell at 10x, 20x. And that's it. Like, by the time it reaches 100x, they only have like 1% of their bag. Meaningless. And they go after the shiny new object. Like, oh my God, I saw this green candle happening. So I quickly sold this token to buy that, and I swear I'm gonna buy back my position. Oh no, I got the other position now. It's more expensive. It's okay. I'll buy that in a second. Now you ended up buying it more expensive, and now you're telling your friends, "Oh yeah, I knew about that project when it was, this small in market cap," but the price levels, the price, the price levels that you bought in says a different story. You're probably not telling anyone else. You're like, oh yeah, I've been there since day one. Yeah, what about the times that you gave up? What about the times that you changed your profile picture? That takes away that purple circle, or the hashtag posting from your Telegram description or Twitter description. What about that time? Don't switch sides and then come back and feel like, yeah, I've been here from the start. Yeah, talk about Pulsechain, bro. No, and then like if the prices go down, it shows people's true colors, guys. It shows people's true colors. Jeez, man. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end the video there. I need to go to sleep. It just hit midnight. You guys are absolutely amazing. I am so excited to make my next videos. Let me know as well if you want me to make a specific video. Comment it down below or join the Telegram and then share it there. And yeah, if you have any questions, literally throw it out. You can DM me on Twitter. You can DM me on Telegram. You guys know my username in the description. Don't get it mistaken. I'll never message you first. I'll never ask you for money. Yeah, a big shout out to the man above. Trust in the process. Trust in God. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.